Hey everybody, it's me, Trader Max here with Shogun, it's October 14th, 2025, and there is a lot to discuss right now, and I just want to give you a little concept of what the state of Shogun is. Let's get started. Okay, so we're on this Telegram system. Uh, Beknownst to a lot of you, we have the Anvil bot, which is one of our power tools. We also have Shogun Fusion, which is still doing very well. We have a lot of great people in here utilizing the system. There are hundreds of NFTs, thousands of NFTs, hundreds of new people coming on. We have a great team of artists that are onboarding, and we're getting into that process. So that's good, right? But I'm here today to really talk to you about something even bigger than what it originally was. The Anvil bot was to be very big, but the biggest problem with the Anvil bot is that we could never scale it to its level while maintaining security. At least that's what I was told. Okay, the hierarchy here of who I am and who our team is was that there was myself and two other programmers. That I'm the UI and UX specialist, where I build the UI for, like you've seen, for Shogun Fusion. You know, these look really nice, right? It's really great, but unless you know the backside of the code, you get kind of stuck just being the UI guy, right? Now, I've also built bots. I've also built systems, and excuse me, I'm very versed in PineScript code for indicators for TradingView, but I never really had the back office down. I knew a lot about it, okay? I knew where stuff was at, but I never got involved with the back office and the hierarchy and the database and those things until now. But you're probably asking why. Well, simply, I've had to make structural changes because things weren't really getting done. They were getting done to a certain point, but it was taking a lot of time in between because everybody's got lives and doing things. Nobody really works at the speed of Max. Now, that doesn't mean I'm better than anybody. It just means that I have a different incentive. I have a different, what they say, work ethic. Like, I want to get things done so people can use it. I'm not out just about making money, even though it'd be really super nice to make some money so I don't have to starve and eat any more ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But I also have a dojo and a house and a car payment and lots of other things. I'm not independently wealthy, even though that I own the Shogun and the whole network. But I do want to tell you of something that's coming. I came up with a realization that, you know, you're going to have to figure all that other stuff out in the back office. So I went and started training myself over with our friends from Udemy. I started to work on stack control and learning about the different systems that were out there and how to code and how to vibe code and build things and structure and to where I can get things done. So that was about 8 weeks ago. I came up with the idea that I think it's about time I part ways with our team that are building all these great, wonderful things, but they're not maintaining them. And I need to know before they fall off, you know, or they fall out, that if they break, who can fix them? And so now I am that person. Why? Well, because I decided to use the Shogun Anvil as a project to kind of get it off of Telegram and either get it into a D-app or a downloadable product. And we chose the latter. What does that mean? We have a pretty cool little system here called the Anvil Solo. Now, the Anvil Solo is a pretty powerful little piece of equipment here. This downloads to your home computer. You do a few waves of your hand, and you can start trading directly from your home computer. Now, I know some of you will be like, when you gonna make it a D-app? Probably never, right? Because the Anvil Solo means that. It's solo. It's not air-gapped from the internet, of course, but it has a very simple system to use your home network as a security system, which means that nobody can access your tokens or your wallet from this system. They would actually have to know your home address, come into your home, break down the door, get onto your computer, put the code. If you don't have a code for your computer, you don't have a privacy code for your computer, shame on you. We'll have that in our learning center, right, on how to make one to where nobody can get in. And this system has a security code as well that they would have to know, which isn't stored anywhere else but on your computer, for you. So they would have to hack your computer, find the code, which is encrypted, by the way, and be able to do it all while you're sitting there watching. Now, if that happens, I'm very sorry. Call the cops. Okay? But this system is very, very secure. The other is that it is so feature rich, because the thing what I said before about when you work at the state of max, at the speed of max, when Max thinks of something, or he's given an idea or a concept or a question or to build something, he builds it. This other system, every time I asked a question to build something more, it was, that's 6 months, that's another 3 months, this is going to be 14 months. I was always disillusioned by being able to have it done, and that was very frustrating to me. So let's take a little branch look at what happened. Okay, now most of the people that start out a system, now 8 weeks ago I started learning. 8 days ago, 5 days ago, so on the 9th, I started building. I built my first little patch of it after 3-4 tries, right? Because you gotta start, and you gotta start over, wipe the slate clean, start over. This is what Alpha is all about. In Alpha right now, what we have is this system. Now the Anvil Solo. Before we start with the breakdown here, I want to let you all know that there are DEXs out there, right? And let's just name them out, because there's a few out there that give a lot of people problems. One of them is Pump Fund, right? Pump Fund changes their code, breaks everybody's bot, right? But one never seems to break out there, and that's Jupiter. Jupiter does not seem to break when Pump changes their code. I wonder why, because they want the money, right? So I partnered with Jupiter to be able to utilize Jupiter API code through this system. So it's fast. It's not the best, but it's fast for what a one person needs to be able to trade. Because that's the other thing too. This other system here, the Telegram system, you all shared the same code. So if there was more people, it hurt. Here, it's a nice light code, and it's lightning fucking fast because you support it. You don't have to pay for it. I've already paid for it. When you get this system from me, your fees, your stuff here, there'll be a small fee for the system in here, right? But it's going to have a lot of features in here. There is sort of a free system that you get where you get to use one of the strategies and you get to pop it on and trade it. You can't trade multiples, so you put it in and you want to DCA out the bot, and it's free of charge, 100%, right? It has updates, free lifetime updates and all that for that one level. But the moment you want to upgrade, and I want to have a DCA and all these other things on here, yeah, it's going to have a couple bucks to it, but always within reason. Okay, so let's jump down. First off is the token manager. This is huge, okay, because you can put the token in here. You'll be able to fetch the token information and find out, you can even add notes to it, just to kind of keep track of stuff, right? And so when you put it in, it's here. You can later on, I will have it to where you can click on it and go to it. But remember, everything that browses information or that gets information has to attach to the internet. We're trying to keep this super light. But let's go down, right? Our other system was a ratio trading system. So we'll start there. Okay, a ratio trading system of 3-to-1 or 3-to-2. Very, very powerful. This system is what made AnvilBot famous and why everybody loved it. Coins would fire off in this solution, and it was so fast. It was so easy to use to be able to fire it off. But then as people started to use it, it would skip stuff. It would forget to do ones. It would miss them. This one doesn't miss a beat, right? Because it is super light and it's on your computer and it fires off lightning fast and it doesn't miss anything. Okay. Now, it also has a wallet system in. We'll talk about that here in a minute because I want you to see under here, you can select which wallet you want to use. Okay, you can name the wallets when you bring them in and everything. Okay, so you have the number of buys, the number of sells, the initial trade. Now, whatever you make the initial sold trade for, if it's 0.01 or 0.001, that's the lowest one you can do. It will start that first one, however many tokens it is buying at that particular point, and then set all the rest of them at that level. Super powerful. You can also set for right now, you can set it as a limit, right? So I can set that to 2 SOL, I can set it to 1 SOL, you can set it to whatever you want it to be, and once it reaches that limit of volume, it shuts off. Now, if one soul is $200 right now, it's going to keep going back and forth on the sold trades, and that's going to give you the volume base, right? You could set the volume in there. Now, you could put 10 in there, but that means it's going to trade up to that point. You're going to have that availability, right? So this is what, if its current price of soul is $200 right now, somewhere around there, then this would be $2,000 in volume, right? And this would be 50, this would be $10,000 in volume. So it's something that you can set from that position. You can also add a very custom. Now, you can't do seconds, 1 minute is the interval there, but you could do 3, you could do 4, you could do 5, what have you. But there is also a randomized timing plus minus 20% of the look that makes it look organic. Now, because you don't want people guesstimating your process, but you can also turn that off. We also do have a use multiple wallets to rotate through derived wallets. This is active, but it'll be an advanced feature in the process. You also are able to choose your priority fee. If you're doing low trades, don't use the high one. That's like 10 cents per trade. And here you're like 2 cents per each one, but it's all reconciled as well as it comes through when you do the sell. So the priority fees are set low because we want them to be low. Okay, slippage, you can set the slippage to be anything. Again, with these lower volume trades, don't worry about setting your slippage high. You're not in a hurry to get in there. Plus, this system does have bev protection. Okay, so with the ratio trading system, super huge. But as I built the other Anvil bot, I was asked, hey, what about DCAing in? Well, in the other system, to trick the system, you had to DCA in. You had to do something like a 7-to-1 or an 8-to-1. So it was so far away for a sell would happen, right? But here, you don't need to do any sells. You want to buy into a token and do so slowly? I could set the amount of SOL. I could do like 0.05. I could do the number of orders. I could say 20 orders, right? So it's going to do 0.05 at 20 orders. And then you could set the frequency. You could do it every hour. You could do it daily. You could do custom interval. You could say 32 minutes if you wanted to. You can set your slippage and your low priority. Simple, just like that. Select your wallet. Put your token in there. If you don't have, you put your token in there, and off it goes. Okay? It'll start trading immediately. Now, there are multiple strategies that you could fire at once, but in the main system, you're only able to fire one off at a time. But if you have the upgraded version, you'll be able to fire multiples, in which then it can effectively do something called cross-hatching. Go see that video. That's a pretty good video. Okay? So as we're doing this, I started to think, well, how much can we stuff into this little porcupine of a thing, right? But we then came up with bundle trading. And what does bundle trading mean? Well, out there, Bonk and Fatality and all those other places, they have a very usable system that if we call reconciliation in a bundle, that if you do 3 trades, in their case, this is an overall 3 trades, right? That means 2 trades are going to be buys, right? And then you're going to trade that's going to be a sell, but it's going to reconcile the amount. So if I trade $1 in the first trade and $2 in the second trade, for the sell will be $3, and that'll reconcile the process. Now you can have this that in the system, you can make it instant, all trades at once, or you can have it delayed in between and actually delay it between each one of the trades. So, and again, having different wallets to be able to do that process. Now, you can also change the minimum amount of the buy between, so between 5 and 0.515, that way the first 2 buys aren't $1 and $1, right? It could be $1.50 and $1.75, and then the reconciliation trade is $3.25, right? So super powerful. You can have it bundled instantly, or you can have it delayed. It's just amazing. The availability to track all this information, make sure that the logs are all good. We're going to have an archive system that for the upgraded version, you can upload all of your information. As far as your trades go, not your wallet information. Your wallet's always going to stay on your network here. The only thing that it will do as far as wallet information is send up the wallets that you're using with their public key. Nobody can access your public key unless you give them the private key to it. And this requires no private key to start the wallets inside the system if you generate a new one. If you do want to import an existing wallet, you will need the private key, but then it's only stored on your home computer. It's never uploaded. Your private key is never uploaded to the cloud. It's only stored here on your main computer. So if you go to a new computer, this system will actually take that public key and import it into your new cloud sync to bring it over to whatever other computer you're using. And also remember that there's only one license key per person. So if you use it on your home computer, you can then use it on your laptop, but it can't be, they can't run at the same time. That's a violation, okay? You can't run 14 computers with the one key, right? You can't run them all at the same time. Now, it's so inexpensive. If you wanted to run multiples, you could do it on the free side. Because there is fees, I'm still going to make money either way, but it's something that this is very powerful. This wallet integration system is very strong as well. It has generated wallets. It also has what we call memory wallets in it when the thing is trading, and it'll track everything. Settings super easy. There's a lot of things. Don't pay attention to the prices. This is just cannon fodder to put into here for right now. But you can kind of see there's a progressional value of what you can do for each one of them. Okay. The licensing server and everything is being developed here this week. On Wednesday of this week, we're doing first release beta. That'll be out there. We're in alpha right now, which we've already tested. It worked out super huge. And why I know it worked out? Why? Yeah, because we tried it on our own coin. Of course we're going to try it. Now, before, we had issues with Pump Fund, we had issues with Meteora, we had issues with tax tokens. It's very difficult to find a volume bot that will deal with any of those other than Radium, right? Because Pump is always changing their shit, and all these other people are always changing all their stuff. So what we did is that we created a system that allows us to be able to trade on all of them. And how do I know that? Well, simply enough, if I go to my wallet management system, we've traded on Just the Lotto, which is a Pump Fund coin. We traded on Shogun, which is Radium. We traded on Lotto AF, which is a Meteora, as well as a tax token. And we change on wherever it just went, on Free Soul as well. I know that's on there somewhere, right? So we traded on all of them to see how well they would work, and they worked fresh as hell. Because the big one is that having the opportunity, okay, let me see if I can find the trades in volume. Having the opportunity to be able to make the trades and do so and track what you're doing is very powerful for us as well. And I wanted to make sure that we got this system out and rolling. Now, I've spent a lot of your time, explaining what's going on and how things are operating. And I do appreciate all of you. This has been a state of Shogun. This is coming out, and we're going to have it ready for everybody. We'll have the websites, we'll have the license servers, we'll have everything up here, hopefully by the end of this week. But by Wednesday, we're doing a live beta test, or not live beta, we're doing a beta test on Wednesday with a few friends of ours from Just a Lotto and a few others, just to test it out and get things downloaded and see how it works and get feedback. All right? So if you're watching this, I appreciate you all. Make sure that you like and share. Let everybody know what we're doing. I'm Trader Max. This has been a Shogun, State of Shogun. We'll see you next time. And as always, trade well.